Oops. Hi, it's Core Daily, and today is May 23rd, 2023. I'm Scott Johnson. All right, I got a quick note to get out of the way. Some of you had asked for audio versions of the daily, and we're going to do that. But the big consensus was, and there's lots of other reasons why I support this, but the consensus was you'd like it on its own feed. All right. That way, people who don't want to get spammed with 5 shows a week plus Core on Thursdays, they don't have an easy way to opt out of that. So we're going to make a feed where Core Daily happens each and every day. I will also include the main episode in there. So I'm kind of flipping it. If you want to get Core Daily and the main show, no problem. I'll put them all in the Core Daily feed. Does that make sense? But then for those who just want Core to stay the way it is and get the one show per week, that'll stay in the feed it's in. Everybody wins. And you can find it over at frogpants.com/core. And look right there on the little page. You'll see the link, and you can copy it into your podcatcher of choice, and you're all set. Okay? Okay. So we have word that Ubisoft's next big Star Wars open massive world game that they're supposedly working on will probably be out in 2024. That's about all the new information we have, but I thought it would be a good time to talk about what we expect from Ubisoft and a potential Star Wars game. According to a report, the game they're working on, not to be confused with a Quantic Dreams game called Star Wars Eclipse, that often gets confused with what Ubisoft has announced. We're talking about a new project with no name that we have some sparse information on. According to an undisclosed report from Kotaku, Ubisoft's upcoming Star Wars game developed by the studio known for The Division is potentially slated for release as early as 2024. The game in question is said to be a mysterious, large game that Ubisoft had previously mentioned would be released within their current fiscal year, ending in March 31st, 2024. This Star Wars project, operating under the codename Project Helix, is just one of several titles planned for release during the timeline. Other notable games include Assassin's Creed Mirage, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, Rainbow Six Mobile, Skull and Bones, The Crew Motorfest, and The Division Resurgence, as well as X Defiant. Julian Garrity, the creative director behind The Division and Division 2, is reported to be leading the development of Ubisoft's Star Wars game. According to sources, they indicate that the game will incorporate, quote, some form of interplanetary space travel, and there's optimism within the company that it could become a significant success, marking Ubisoft's first major hit outside the Assassin's Creed franchise in quite some time. They were approached for comment, but a spokesperson from Ubisoft declined and said, "We don't comment on rumors or speculation." While no further details have been disclosed, it is possible that the game might be showcased during Ubisoft Forward, which is scheduled for June 12th. That is just right around the corner. We will, of course, cover that here on Core and talk all about what Ubisoft is doing. Ubisoft used to be one of my favorite publishers, developers, and they make a whole lot of games, like a lot of games. In fact, do you know how many studios they own? Look at this clip. I'm just going to run it right here. Look at this clip. This shows all the studios they either founded or acquired and are currently still working or going. I think some of them might be defunct now, but this is a lot. It's all on their Wikipedia page. You can go read about it. Anyway, what do we want out of Ubisoft at this point? What do we want out of a Star Wars game made by them? They have some stiff competition in the face of Red-Headed Jedi Survivor, which is a big hit. Despite some issues on PC, that game is doing really well, and people really like it and reviewed really well, probably on a short list of best games of the year for a lot of people. But the one thing I will say for Ubisoft, even though they've had kind of a quiet time recently and their own internal struggles, controversially speaking, they know open world maybe better than anyone or as good as anyone. And even though they kind of rely on a couple of tropes, get to the highest point, reveal more of the map, climb a giant tower, do the same thing. Like some of their open world tropes are very Ubisofty, and a lot of people even steal those ideas and use them in their games. I'd like to see them, veer from that a little bit. Not knowing what this game is structured like at all, it's hard to say what they would do, but I do hope I'm not climbing some giant tower so that I can see more of what the map is. They know story. The Assassin's Creed stories are great. They're well done. They know quality and polish. They've done that before. I think Phoenix Rising is one of the best games of the current, well, I guess last generation technically, but it's a game you can play now on modern consoles. It's an amazing game. It's probably the best game they've put out in years, in my opinion. But given how much they've kind of sucked lately, they need a win, and they need it now. So we don't know much more, but as we know, we'll talk about it. Core will be all over that business. And despite our misgivings with recent Ubisoft releases, I think it might be time for them to shine. And I hope I'm right. Let's get to today's texts. 801-471-0462. Not text. There's not only one. There's just the one. All right, here it is. This is from an anonymous listener who said, "Hey, Core Daily, did you see that Blizzard put out a story launch trailer for Diablo today? I didn't get to play the beta, so this was all new to me, and I could not be more excited," says Anonymous. Yeah, it's there. It's out. It's a thing you can go look at, and I would check it out on their YouTube channel or wherever you want to watch it. It's got me hyped and stoked. I'd play it here, but the music in there I think is copywritten and will cause me problems here on YouTube, so I'm not going to play it here. But it looks, it's Diablo. A lot of the stuff they show in that gameplay trailer we've seen in the beta, so they're holding a lot back that we haven't seen yet. I think that's smart. And it's on, baby. Heaven and hell clashing once again. Whose side will you be on? Make sure you catch the longer conversation happening with us on Core on Thursdays. It's usually a big, beefy show with me, John, and Bo. And you'll get that show right here on YouTube afterwards if you'd prefer that. But you can also subscribe at the website at frogpants.com/core, or you can find it wherever you get your podcasts and give it a listen. All right? We'd love it. All of this is brought to you by the support of our Patreon, patreon.com/core show. Huge thanks to our patrons. And please, if you have not done it, hop over there now and see what cool benefits you could get if you support Core today at patreon.com/core show. And now, too much of Kyle's crotch with John. Enjoy, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, big submission move. We are seeing a lot of Kyle here. We are seeing maybe too much of Kyle. We're looking right up the loincloth. Whether Garrett submits, I don't know, but maybe we should submit. Let's change the camera to the crew in the to the crew in the truck. Let's go to a different angle.